Hi there, welcome back. It's Lisa from Critters'n Ink Designs in Ontario, Canada. Today I'm going to show you how to make this little swag over here. Let me show you a really close-up picture that I just took. Isn't that cute? And so what I used was just some of the designer series paper. I'm using the Traditions of Christmas designer series paper. It is so pretty. So it's let me take this out. It is gold embossed on one side and then just various like overall backgrounds on the other side. Super cute. So I'm just using that, and but any two-sided paper will do. I think if you want to add a little pizzazz, you might want to make sure that one side is somewhat embossed, either pearlized or like gold embossed or silver embossed or something like that. But this is the one that I'm using. And it just fell on the floor. And I'm going to use this one today with the pink poinsettias and the little red floral. Isn't that pretty? So you just need a 6x6 to make one of these little units, and I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make my little swag, and then I just put some little fairy lights on it. I just thought I needed something to jazz up my room a little bit. But look what came yesterday. Not yesterday, Saturday. Woo! The new spring catalog. Woohoo! So if you have placed an order with me in the last 6 months, you actually will receive one of these in the mail probably in the next week or so, hopefully. Week to 10 days, I think, something like that. I think they're supposed to be shipping out next week, and you'll get it the following week. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, if you haven't ordered from me, or you're a new customer and would like me to be your demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Drop me an email at crittersandink@gmail.com, and I will absolutely throw one in the mail for you. Mine should be, I ordered a whole bunch of them. They should be here, I think, the 3rd. What's today? The 1st. So it'll be here the 3rd, or they will be here the 3rd. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Oh, another thing I wanted to share with you real fast is the paper pumpkin. Oops, that's not it. Cyber Monday. So Cyber Monday, from today until the 9th, so next Tuesday, there is a huge sale. Look at the prices. Like $82.75 for 3 months from $110.25. Like, that's crazy. I usually get the 12-month prepaid. So unfortunately, I just renewed. When did I renew? Oh my goodness, a couple of months ago. So this isn't going to do me any good, but if you are not already a Paper Pumpkin subscriber, what a sweet deal this is. And you can either go month to month. A lot of people do. There isn't a sale on the month to month. But if you choose a 3-month prepaid just to give it a try, or 6 months, or 12 months, the savings are ridiculous. Look at this for the whole year. It's like $110 off. Holy smokes, that is amazing. Anyway, so I thought I would pop that on there. That starts today and it goes till the 9th, which is next Tuesday. Okay? So why don't we go ahead and make our little snowflake. Like, this can be used just as an ornament. So what I have here is a 6x6 piece of double-sided designer series paper. So let me go down to my desk, and I've got my trimmer. Let me fix my little camera here. There we go. I think I'm going to zoom in a hair so that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. There. Okay. So I'm going to cut my 6x6 into 12 half-inch pieces. So I'm just lining it up at the half-inch mark here. So I've got, it'll be 6 by a half an inch, and you need 12. And this would be a great project if you pre-cut all your little strips. just put them together in front of the TV because they go really fast. So this was one of the projects that I did a collab. If you weren't aware, I did a collab with a demonstrator from New York State last 2 weeks ago, I think. And this was one of her projects. And they're super fun to do. Now this was 6 by 6 and I did a 1/2 inch. I don't know why. I had a little piece left over. That was kind of weird. I better make sure I have 12 of these. 1, 2, 4, 6. Oh, for God's sakes, I can't even count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So obviously it wasn't 6 by 6. It was 6 by 6 and something. Okay. So I also have a piece of white, basic white cardstock here that is 6 by 6. And I've just did a cross grid at halfway through. So I'm going to lay my first one just in the center like this. And I can just sort of see, like I have it centered on there. And I'm going to take a little bit of glue. Where's my little glue bottle? There it is. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. And I'm going to lay the next one on it. Just crisscross like this. So I've got the shiny side up. Just hold that there because I'm using liquid glue. I'm going to let it set for a minute. I keep moving this. Good grief. There we go. There. So it's right in the middle. Using the grid really helps. If you have grid paper like this, you can just use this as well. And actually, I think using the grid paper is probably a little bit easier just to keep your other pieces straight too. So now I'm going to take 2 pieces and I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to turn the shiny side down and you'll see why in a minute. So I'm going to line them up so that they're about 1/8 of an inch apart here like this. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. Like this. And a little bit of glue here. So I have them about 1/8 of an inch apart. There we go. There. The next thing I want to do is take one with the shiny side down, and I'm going to slide it under my center strip, just like this. Just as if, you know how when you make those pie crusts that are woven, it's kind of the same, you know, same idea. So I have this here, and I'm going to lift up the center one and put a little dab of glue here. I'm just going to hold that for a minute. And then I'm going to lift up the 2 sides and just put a dot of glue under here because you really want this to hold. And because I'm using liquid glue, I'm giving it a second to absorb into the paper so that it sticks. I wouldn't really recommend snail for this. You could, I guess. But for me, the liquid glue is it's a harder bond. I think you'd be happier with it. And then I'm going to take another one and do the same thing. I just rotated it, right? I had it like this. Now I'm just rotating it. And I'm going to slide this under. Oops. Let's keep you straight, shall we? So I'm just going to slide this one under as well. Stick that one in there. Same thing. I'm going to lift up the center one, put some glue there. I try not to be over exuberant with the glue because it'll stick to your little sheet that you want to keep using. Your crisscross sheet there. There we go. There. So there's number 1 is done. So we just need to make a second one. So I'm going to set this aside and let it dry. And I'm going to do a second one. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue just in the middle there and lay another one right in the middle like this. I think I'm pretty straight there. If you're a little bit not straight, it's fine. There we go. So now again, I'm going to take 2 and flip them over. And I'm going to glue them to the crisscross about 1/8 of an inch from the edge, or from the center strip here. There's one. I just said to my husband this morning, like, I cannot believe that it's December. I feel like, oh, where did the year go? Holy smokes, like, gone. There. All right, so next I'm going to take my second to last strip. I'm going to slide it underneath the foiled one, but on top of the 2 flat ones. And flat, by flat, I mean non-gold embossed. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here. Oop, I forgot to put glue under this one. And a little bit of glue under this one. Oops. I want it to be 1/8 of an inch away here. I let it shift. There. That's the beauty of liquid glue. You can shift things around for a sec. Okay, and then my last strip is going to go under this foiled one again, and then right over to here. There we go. I don't know what my husband's making for dinner, but it sure smells good. All right, so let's pop this under here, a little bit of glue. And then I will flip it around and do a little bit of glue on this one too. There. Okay. So I'm going to pull this one over and I'm going to let the glue set. Ooh, I got glue on my little background there. Okay, I'm going to let the glue set on that one. So here's the one that we did a couple of minutes ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 and create like a loop. So what I'm doing, I'm going to put glue on the top one right in the corner, but make sure you get all your corners. There, so you can see I have a fair amount of glue on there. I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to flip this one over, but I'm going to put the square edges together. Do you see what I'm doing? Corner to corner, like this. I was a little heavy-handed with the glue, but that's okay. So this is what I have. Can you see? Oops, I better hold that and let the glue settle for a sec. There. Now, because this is shinier paper, it is going to take more, like, 3 or 4 seconds to adhere. So there's that one. Same thing for the next one. So we're going to rotate it. I'm going to put glue on this one. I'm not going to be so heavy-handed this time. And I'm going to flip it over, And I'm going to flip this one over. But I want them to go this way, right? So I'm going to pop that onto there and hold it. There. And try not to flatten your strips. It's easy to do. Trust me, I know. There. So we have 2 done. Let's hold that for a second. Okay, next I'm going to do the same thing. But you really want to make sure you get the glue in the corners because it'll lift if you don't. So I'm going to flip them over and then make sure that the corners match, okay? Like that. There we go. Okay, last one. There we go. I had a lovely time last week with my grandkids. Honestly, Aiden, he's 4. He's so funny. He had picked up a book they had book fair at the school last week. And so they pre-order the books and then they can buy them at the book fair. And so one of the books that he got was about hidden treasure. So the 6-year-old goes to Kumon, which is like a tutoring school. After she goes twice a week, and so Aiden and I were sitting at the tutoring, and he comes across this picture of there was a sarcophagus and then this mummy that they had found, and it was like a little gruesome-ish, but he says, "Grandma, what is this?" And I said, "It's a mummy." And he says, "It looks like they took all the toilet paper off him." Now, I don't know if that's really funny, but it hit me as hilarious. And I just burst out laughing. I go, "Yeah, it's not toilet paper, sweetie. It's cloth. They wrap them in cloth." And he says, "It looks like an alien." And it kind of did. But oh my God, he was so funny. He loves books. Both these kids love their books. Well, actually, all 3 of our grandkids love books. But oh, he was so cute. Took the toilet paper off. Oh, what a guy. And then, of course, they had to speculate about how the poor guy died. And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't think so, sweetie. He got a little graphic. I think he watches too much ninja stuff, but he's pretty funny. There we go, almost done. So yeah, excuse me, you could cut a bunch of 6 by 1/2 inch strips and just put a movie on and make all kinds of these guys because they're super, super easy. All you need is a bit of glue. And some 2-sided paper. And then I made that swag behind me just by putting 5 of them together. And then my husband's a little taller than I am. He's about a foot taller than I am. So he strung it up for me, and I had some little battery operated fairy lights I just stuck on it, and I thought it was kind of cute. So, okay. So there's our second. Oops, this one's lifting a bit here. Let's just make sure it sticks. There. There's our little bow. Got glue all over me. Okay, so now to put this together. So I'm going to lay one on top of the other, and I'm going to offset it so that where there's a loop, the straight strip will go through on alternate ones. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so I have two, right? But I'm going to put them so that they're offset, so that where there's a straight strip, we're going to put a loop. So this is going to just sit right in there like this. And then I'm going to just take the strips and put them through the loop on the, I guess, I don't know how to say it, like on the other side. And that'll weave them together so that they stay as one unit instead of two separate units. Does that make sense? So there it is. Isn't that cute? So what we're going to do next is I'm going to put a little bit of glue just along this triangle like that. And then I'm going to hold this strip that we wove through it, and I'm just going to hold it, and I have about 1/4 of an inch. I have my little point is centered, and there's about 1/4 of an inch from the point to the end of that strip. See? There. So I'm just going to hold that for a minute. Then I'm going to do the same thing on all 8 pieces. So I'm going to center it, sure that that's about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to hold that until it's adhered well. And I am holding it because it seems to want to drift to one side or the other, but I want it centered. Okay, next one. Put a little bit of glue there. I'm going to pop that guy through. These are so cute. When I first saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, that looks really difficult, but it's not at all. Like, okay. And I'm making sure that I'm centered and 1/4 of an inch from the edge. Okay. There we go. Almost done. Oops. So cute. So oh, that one came apart here. Has everyone started their Christmas shopping? I just think December snuck right up on me. I feel like the Grinch. I've got my grandkids are done, but I start for them when I see things like even in the summertime. I'll pick things up. They were really, when they came to visit this summer, we live in the country, so we have a lot of like really pretty birds and things like that. And they were on the binoculars all the time looking at birds. So I got those 2 kids a couple of bird books and some binoculars because they just, their parents just bought a cottage out in the country as well. It's not a waterfront cottage, it's a country cottage. And just a getaway near where they ski. So they can use it year round, and especially handy when they ski. So I got them binoculars and then I got all 3 of them a little cooking set from Pampered Chef. They have a monthly subscription, which is amazing. The price is very, very good. And then every second month they get a box in the mail addressed to them with cooking supplies and little spices and some recipes and stuff like that. So I thought this is a great way to spend time, with the grandkids. Or I mean with with the parents doing crafty things. So, yeah, so the kids were easy to do because it was all stuff that they love to do. All right, so now I've got my snips, and I'm just going to trim off anything that's overhanging. So I'm just going to go like this. Oh my gosh. I can hear Georgie banging on the door here. She's scratching to get in. She's been a funny cat. When I was away all last week, she was misbehaving and being a real little wiener. And then as soon as I get back, she seems fine. It's like she doesn't, she doesn't bother Glenn at all. She just lets him sleep until he wakes up. But when I'm home, 4 o'clock in the morning, she's poking me in the face. She wants snuggles, and then she wants to eat and go outside. And then, of course, it's cold now, so she's out for 5 minutes, and then she wants to come right back in again. So, I don't know. She's a funny little cat. We've had her since she was like 8 or 9 weeks old. They were born feral in a barn. The two of them in the same barn at the same time. 2 different litters, but same barn. And you couldn't find 2 more different cats. Like Roxy is very timid and she doesn't like going outside. Now, part of that is because she was attacked by a big bird a couple of summers ago. I wouldn't go outside either. I don't blame her, but she's more of a couch potato. And then there's Georgie, who she's very feral. She likes to be outside. So here is our little snowflake. Isn't that cool? So stinking cool. Okay, so the next thing I need is I have a 1/8 inch punch. Unfortunately, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell these anymore. I wish they did, but you can get these anywhere. You can get them at Staples, you can get them at Michael's, probably even get one at the dollar store for that matter. All right, so I'm just going to punch a hole in the middle of one of the petals, and I just have some of the gold and silver trim. I have a feeling this is retired, but if you have some or any little gold trim of any kind. So I'm just going to pop one end through the hole here. Oh my gosh, Georgie. There. And I'm just going to tie it in a little knot. Yeah, so any like 1/8 inch ribbon that you have, or even a thick twine would work just fine. And there you have your little ornament. Isn't that so cute? Oh, I love them. So I hope you give these a try. As I said, they're dirt easy to do, and they go together really quickly. Even quicker if you're not talking. So, I hope you guys give this a try. They're lots of fun to do. I think even, depending on the age group, you could do these with your grandkids. And mine are still a little bit too young. The oldest one is 6, and she's very, very crafty, but I think she still might be a little bit young for this. But if you had them like, say, 8 or 9 or 10, they would really have fun doing these, and you could put them all over your tree. So yeah, give it a try with any, this would be a great way to use up last year's designer paper for sure. So if you haven't already subscribed, I would love you to subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to hit 1,000. I'm just under 700 right now, and I would love to hit 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe please. And if you have subscribed, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to, I will be posting the PDF for this on my blog, which is critters'nink.com. And if you'd like to sign up for my newsletter, there is a link on my blog to sign up for my newsletter. Yeah, so thanks for joining me. Have a super afternoon, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.